You check your phone. 11:11. Boom, dopamine. Hit. It feels like the universe just winked at you, right? Like a secret handshake between you and the cosmos. But let's cut the romance. Deep down, you know the truth is colder than that. The universe isn't sliding into your DMS. It runs on cold math. If you roll the dice enough times, eventually you hit 10 sixes in a row. That isn't magic, that's just statistics playing the long game. But forget the math for a second. The real question isn't why the numbers lined up. It is why you forgot the 1043 or the 315. Why did those numbers fade into the background? But that 1111 stuck in your brain like a splinter. Why does one moment feel like dead air and the other feels like a scream? To understand this, without the spiritual fluff, we have to look at the hardware. Your brain is processing roughly 11 million bits of information every single second. The hum of the fridge, the texture of the tag on your shirt, the traffic outside, the temperature of your skin. If you actually felt all of that at once, you would have a psychotic break before lunch. Your operating system would crash from the sheer volume of noise. So, your brain hires a bouncer. This is the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Its job is to kick out the noise so you can function. It deletes 99% of your reality to keep you sane. But here is the catch. You are the one who writes the guest list. Take. Tech. Beat up Yellow Wrangler. You are thinking about buying. Yesterday. Invisible. You could have walked past 5 of them and not registered a single one. Today, they are everywhere. Parked at the gym, cutting you off on the I-95, lurking in the background of that TikTok you are watching. The universe didn't manufacture thousands of Jeeps overnight just to make you happy. They were always there. You just finally took the blindfold off. Psychologists call this the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, or the frequency illusion. Your brain has tagged yellow Jeep as high-value data. So now the bouncer lets them through the velvet rope while still blocking out the white Hondas and the black Fords. This destroys the idea that you are attracting these signs. You aren't attracting new data into your reality. You are simply noticing what was already broadcasting. You are tuning the radio dial to a frequency that has been playing the entire time. But if we stop at biology, we miss the point. Because sometimes the timing is too perfect. Sometimes it isn't just a car. It is a song playing on the radio that answers a question you haven't even spoken aloud. It feels less like a coincidence and more like a hiccup in the timeline. This is where Carl Jung comes in. He didn't see this as a brain error. He saw a rhythm. He called it synchronicity, an Acausal connecting principle. Think of 2 clocks striking noon in different cities. No wire connects them. The clock in London didn't cause the clock in New York to chime. They chimed together because they run on the same underlying time. Your head and your reality work the same way. We like to think the world happens to us. But Jung argued that the world out there is just a mirror. And here is the brutal part about mirrors. They don't care about your feelings. They don't have an agenda. They just reflect. If you stand in front of a mirror screaming, "I am rich," while you are wearing sweatpants and reek of anxiety, the mirror isn't going to show you a millionaire. It is going to reflect the panic right back at you. This is where most people get it wrong. They think synchronicities are always positive high fives from the universe. They think seeing signs means they are on the right path. But because the world is a mirror, it reflects your chaos just as clearly as it reflects your clarity. We need to talk about the dark side, because the love and light crowd ignores this. Ever have one of those days where the world feels hostile? You sleep through the alarm. You slam your shin against the coffee table. You dump a latte on your only clean shirt. By the time you hit the road, every light is red, and you are convinced the universe has a personal vendetta against you. You think, just my luck. Or Mercury is in retrograde. No, that is the mirror. When you wake up frantic, you are broadcasting a signal of distress. Your internal bouncer starts scanning for threats to match your mood. You literally become blind to the green lights and hyper-focused on the red ones. You don't see the driver letting you in. You only see the guy cutting you off. It is a feedback loop from hell. You get angry, so you see more things to be angry about, which makes you angrier, which manifests more obstacles. It is a downward spiral of synchronization. So, stop looking for angels in the license plates. These aren't gifts. They are a check engine light. When that red light pops on in your dashboard, you don't thank the car. You don't stare at it with gratitude. You pull over and fix the problem. That string of bad luck, that is your subconscious sounding the alarm. That repeating number you keep seeing, that is just your mind flagging a coordinate you need to pay attention to. The line between being awake and being delusional is razor thin. You don't need a protocol to walk it. You just need to stop worshiping the signpost and start looking at where it is pointing. There is a trap here. A massive one. Stare too hard at the static, and you are going to lose your mind. We need to talk about the dark side of pattern recognition before you drive yourself into madness. It is called Apophenia. That is the fancy term for seeing connections that aren't there. It is why people see faces in the clouds, Jesus on a piece of burnt toast, or vast conspiracy theories in a random static hiss. It is a glitch in the software. When you first wake up to synchronicities, there is a dangerous phase where the ego gets involved. You start thinking everything is a sign. A leaf falls on your windshield. A message from God. You drop your keys. A warning from the angels. You see a bird flying left. A bad omen. If you are living like this, you aren't awakened. You are neurotic. You are drowning in data because your internal bouncer quit his job and let the whole neighborhood into the club. You have lost the ability to distinguish between signal and noise. This is where people spin out. They become paralyzed. Afraid to make a single move without checking the clock or pulling a tarot card. That isn't spirituality. That is mental illness, dressed up in yoga pants. So, how do you tell the difference? How do you know if you are receiving a valid coordinate from the system, or if you are just projecting your own desperation onto a random world? It comes down to the adrenaline. The texture of the experience is completely different. False signs feel frantic. You are sweaty, anxious, hunting for clues to force the universe to be right. You are staring at the license plates of every car that passes, begging for a confirmation. You are screaming at the mirror, trying to force it to show you a reflection that isn't there. True synchronicity is quiet. It doesn't scream. It clicks. Like a key sliding into a deadbolt. There is no panic, only a sudden sharp clarity. It catches you off guard. You weren't looking for it. Yet there it is, a song, a number, a conversation overheard snapping the chaotic pieces of your reality into a single, coherent picture. It validates your intuition. It doesn't replace it. This brings us to the engine that drives this whole process. The observer effect. In quantum physics, the famous double-slit experiment showed us something that shattered our understanding of reality. Simply watching a particle changes how it acts. When unobserved, matter behaves like a wave of possibilities. When observed, it collapses into a single particle of reality. Your life works the same way. Your attention isn't passive. It is a weapon. It collapses the wave function of your future. Most people wake up every morning scanning for disaster. You lie in bed and think, I hope I am not late, or I hope the boss isn't angry, or I hope there is no traffic. By focusing on the traffic, the anger, and the lateness, you are telling your reticular activating system to hunt for those patterns. You are observing the problem, so you are collapsing the reality of the problem. You are literally programming the simulation to give you a bad day. To hack this, you have to flip the observer effect. You have to stop observing the lack and start observing the solution before it even arrives. You have to prime the brain to see the green lights. But this is the paradox that trips everyone up. Cannot do this with desperation. Desperation has a smell. It smells like fear. In the realm of energy and psychology, clinging is a repellent. When you are begging the universe for a sign, you are broadcasting a signal that says, I don't have this. You are broadcasting lack. And remember the mirror. The mirror is faithful. If you stand before it broadcasting, I lack guidance, it will reflect back a world where you are lost. That is why the harder you chase a specific outcome, the faster it runs away. It is why the solution to your problem only pops into your head the second you give up, toss your phone on the couch, and go take a shower. So, how do we operationalize this? If you want to use Synchronicities as a genuine GPS for your life, rather than a source of anxiety, you need a protocol. Here are the 3 rules of the navigation algorithm. Rule number 1. Set the coordinates, not the route. You need to be precise about what you want, but completely agnostic about how you get it. Most people say, "I want to be happy." That is useless. That is like telling a GPS, "Take me somewhere nice." The system can't process that. Instead, you say, "I want to find a career that utilizes my skill in writing and gives me freedom." That is a coordinate. You have just handed the bouncer a new guest list. Now the RAS knows what to scan for. Rule number 2. Take your hands off the wheel. This is where everyone crashes. You pick the destination, but you do not get to dictate the turn-bit-turn directions. If you decide that the sign must come in the form of a job offer via email at 9:00 a.m. on Tuesday, you have blinded yourself to the real data. The sign might be a random conversation with a stranger at a coffee shop. It might be a book falling off a shelf. It might be getting fired from your current job, so you are forced to move. When you try to micromanage the universe, you are operating from the ego, and the ego has a very limited view of the map. The system, or the annus mundus, sees the whole board. Let it drive. Rule number 3. Surrender to the flow. Surrender is a word that high achievers hate. It sounds like giving up. It is not. In this context, surrender is a mechanical necessity. When you are frantic, your brain is in a Hebeta wave state. This is the frequency of stress, survival, and tunnel vision. In Hebeta, you literally cannot see the big picture. When you let go in, you stop hunting and just live. Your brainwaves slow down into alpha and theta. These are the states of flow, creativity, and intuition. This is the bandwidth where synchronicities happen. You have to relax to receive the signal. You have to trust that the mechanics are working in the background. So, here is the bottom line. You don't need to watch another video on this topic. You don't need to pay a guru to decode your numbers. You don't need to buy a crystal to amplify your frequency. You already have the most sophisticated reality creation machine in the known universe sitting inside your skull. You have just been running it on autopilot. You have been letting your fears and your insecurities write the code. The patterns you see are not determining your fate. They are revealing your focus. The world is not happening to you. It is responding to you. The mirror is waiting. If you don't like the reflection, don't try to scrub the glass. Don't yell at the image. Change the person standing in front of it. Now, turn this off. Put down the phone. Look around. The machine is listening. What are you going to tell it?